So what is it? Just a whole new stream now, or did it start? Sorry, y'all. I crashed. I know nobody's probably watching right now. I don't even know if this went back to the old stream or a new stream. I thought I had fixed my computer. Apparently not. Crap. Sorry, everybody. Let's see. Let me try to bring my chat back. And if anybody's in here, I wouldn't even be able to see your chat, so it don't matter. Let me, desktop. All right, let me get my chat up. No, kitty. Now is not the time. And then there goes the green screen. Story of my life. All right, we're loading it up. Shoot. What's up, Denny? Denny, is it a new stream? Did they put me on a whole new stream, or did it continue the old stream? Hopefully it continued the old stream. All right. Sorry, everybody. Where was I? All right, that's where I was. Let's see if we got everything working. We're gonna be down a green screen. The cat decided to knock it down at the worst time possible. Shit fire. I think this is a different stream. Ain't that a BI? Yep, I gotta change the thumbnail. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, well, that's the problem with doing restream. If you crash like that, you have to do a whole new stream. I might just give up on the restream stuff. It'd be nice if I could change my thumbnail, please. Goodness gracious. I'm just looking for my thumbnail real quick. What's the name of my show? Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, chat's working. Yeah, new stream. I know, that's the worst thing. I don't want it to be a new stream. Here we are. That's all right. I had a lot of ranting to do anyway. People don't want to hear that. I'm about to start my politics rant. It'll just be me ranting to you, Denny. All right. Yeesh. Literally had all my other apps closed so that wouldn't happen. Where's my e-cig? I need to smoke my e-cig before we continue now. I'm stressed out. Why? Can't even do a live stream. Working on a new YouTube video. It's an eBay reselling video. Obviously, this crap ain't working. All right, so you got my point about the taxes then. Pay almost 20 times more going to corporate subsidies, yet that's the one people want to be upset about. This average salary for Gen Z right now is less than $40,000. The average living wage for an individual with no kids is $48,000. So right now, the average salary is less than the average living wage. The average salary to live comfortably, which I could never get to $106,000. Are you crazy? But of course, if you live in New York or California, maybe it's a little different. So, like they say here at the end, Gen Z isn't the problem. It's low wages and corporate greed. When you have all this wealth inequality, there's less money to go around. So, overall, you're paying more for the stuff you're buying, and that goes against the money you're making because that's not going up. But the money you're paying out is going up. But the money that's coming in, that ain't going up. Let's see. I like this Robert Wright guy. Every time he tweets, I agree with what he says. He posted here that Walmart and McDonald's are among the top employers of workers who rely on food stamps. McDonald's CEO made $18 million. Walmart CEO made $27 million. But all of their employees are on food stamps. So really, what the taxpayer is subsidizing there is their employees. So not only do they get the corporate subsidies, we're paying for the food for their employees because they won't pay their employees enough to afford their own food. So that in itself is another subsidy that doesn't even count towards that corporate subsidies. That counts towards the other thing we were talking about, the money you pay towards food stamps. Those food stamps are really a subsidy for these corporations. My bad, Ghost Slayer, I'm back. Sorry about that. I think we should be able to say where we want our taxes to go. For example, I don't want my money to go to any bailouts. I've always said it would be really cool, and we talk about this a lot on BB live streams because it has to do with the blockchain, but it'd be nice if you could designate where your tax dollars goes. I wonder would not enough people designate theirs to go to food stamps? I think enough people would, because enough people are empathetic, or and all the people who don't like that idea, they can donate their money to the military or whatever they want. And would it even out though? It'd be hard for it to even out that way. But I like that idea. Maybe in some capacity, maybe we can designate 50% of where our taxes go. We got Alejandro on the chat. What's up, Alejandro? Had a little bit of technical difficulties and had to start up a second live stream. tonight. We should have a salary cap with a luxury tax structure. Well, I think what we need is, I forget exactly, marginal tax rate. A marginal tax rate like we had in the 1940s and the 1930s, 1950s also. This was the time when we became the strongest and richest country in the world, and we had a marginal tax rate, which means that people who made over $400,000 a year, which in today's money would be about $3 million, they all paid the same amount of taxes as everybody else all the way up to that point. And then after that, their tax rate went up to like 75 or 80%. And that makes the most sense. They're still rich. They're still making lots of money. And now the government has enough money to make sure that everybody's taken care of. But of course, a lot of people don't think that people should be taken care of by the government. And that's kind of the whole back and forth when it comes to that. What's up, BB fans? Good to see you, my man. Yes, I'm here every week. Collect your keys on Disney Pinnacle. I've got Disney Pinnacle pulled up in my text section to talk about today. I want to get into it. I was going to talk about the keys. Exactly. They've got an event going on right now where you get the keys for free, I believe. All you have to do is log in. We're going to get to it, I promise. I know. Y'all kept telling me to get into Panini. I waited too long. You've been telling me to get into Pinnacle. I'm not going to wait no longer. I'm going to get into it. And then one from my man Bernie. Bernie tweeted out here about how since Trump was elected in his second term here, that's just how long ago? A year? If you're counting his election, that was in November. So a year ago, since then, Zuckerberg's already gained $25 billion. And again, when you're talking billions, I don't know if people understand how big of a number that is. All the billionaires are getting super, super rich right now. And the rest of us, we're overall going to be poorer, even if we're getting the same amount of money. If we're paying more for our electric bill and we're paying more for our groceries, overall we have less money. Close the gaps. Tax code should be only one page instead of thousands of pages. I agree with that too. Grandma Moore saying stuff I agree with today. That's a little strange. I don't usually agree with her, but yeah, absolutely, make it easier. But I don't think it should be like and I forget they have a name for it where everybody pays the exact same tax rate, because overall that benefits the billionaires even more. Billionaires need to pay more. They got more, and they're like, it's our money. Well, where do you get that money? You get it from the consumers. We're the consumers, so it's still our money that you're using here. And then they monopolize everything, so they have no competition. They buy out their competition. I do still have some McFarlane NFTs. I still got a Batman that somebody gave to me. I still have the Todd McFarlane himself NFT. I haven't thought about McFarlane for a long time, though. I didn't know they were still doing stuff. That's good to hear these days. There's been a lot of talk the last 2 days about President Trump saying that there's going to be no more income tax, which that's probably going to happen right after you get your $5,000 Doge rebate or your $2,000, was it a tariff rebate check? Which I do think they actually will send that one right before the midterms because they think it's going to help them in the election. But why? What's the point of getting rid of income taxes? I mean, we need money to run the government. I think they just want to make government smaller. And the whole idea of government smaller, again, is the billionaires, because anytime the government spends money, the billionaires feel like that's their money that they're spending because they're getting taxed the most. They're paying the most in taxes. But that's the price of living in America. Go to China and run your company there and see how many taxes you pay. They just take your whole company. Been seeing a lot of stuff the last few days about weed, about how bad weed is, which I thought was kind of weird because, you know, even Trump's been trying to say that we should legalize weed or at least take it off the Schedule I drug classification. And a lot of was talking about the scromiting, where there's people who smoke weed and gives them real bad stomach pain. And the only way to relieve the stomach pain is to lay down or take a hot shower. It's actually called CHS, and I know all about it because my little brother has it very bad. He can't really smoke weed anymore because he literally has exactly what they're talking about. But it's not a new thing, and it's really rare. So I'm like, what is all this hate for weed all of a sudden? I'm just curious. It doesn't make sense. And then I saw this. Oh, that's why. So apparently there was a new study that came out, look, the exact same day as that other tweet, where they found out that alcohol use is down 54%. And now the alcohol companies are scrambling. Of course, they have a lot of power. They have a lot of lobbying power. They have a lot of money. So now they're going to have this big campaign against marijuana because they feel like people smoking marijuana makes people drink less, which is probably true. I might drink if I didn't smoke. Well, let me not get... I'm just saying back in the day. That's when I was a teenager. But yeah, I think this has a lot to do with the demonization of weed right now. It's because the people who produce alcohol know that their numbers are going down fast. There will be way people there will be a way people find to manipulate any system when it comes to the almighty dollar, always and forever. Yes, there's always people coming up with ways to get more money than they're supposed to get. Why can't everybody just be honest? Just get what you deserve. And that's it. All right, there's two different things I want to kind of deep dive into today. A little bit of a deep dive, I don't know. And one of them is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Shout out to everybody watching. Thank you guys for coming back. Sorry about my computer crashing. I don't know if my Twitch is still working. Let me exit out of it, though, so that it doesn't blow anything up. All right, so the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was just started like 10 years ago, and it was created by Elizabeth Warren. And basically, it's nicknamed the Scam Police. So what it does is it goes and finds banks that are overcharging for like late fees or doing other unscrupulous activities. It investigates them, and if it finds it, then it takes that money back from those banks or those other scammers, and it gives the money back to American citizens. And you can see it's already recovered almost $20 billion in consumer relief. So this is money that was scammed off of Americans, that this organization went and discovered the scam, got the money back, and gave the money back to the Americans. So that's probably a good thing, right? They've given out $5 billion in civil money penalties, which means that's money that's bills that go to scammers. When they get caught scamming, they get fined for it. I mean, I don't see how anybody could be against that. Here's some stuff that they done recently. This is over 2013. No, was it 2013? 2023 and 2024. So one of the things they did is they ordered Bank of America to pay nearly $200 million, and they found that they were not only charging multiple insufficient fund fees for the same transaction, and they were withholding credit card points. They were actually even creating fake credit card accounts without people's authorization to charge them more money. And this is a bank. This is Bank of America. This is one of the big banks. And this organization went in and found that. Somebody alerted them. They investigated. They took all that money back, and they gave it back to the Americans that were defrauded by the Bank of America. They go in and they find all illegal junk fees on bank accounts and mortgages and student loans, auto loans, and they put out a report about it, and they uncovered charges of numerous illegal junk fees, and it resulted in people getting their money back. It resulted in companies being fined, getting in trouble for scamming. All these subscription services, when they don't want to let you end your subscription, or they secretly keep charging you, they do that as well. These are all good things. If you disagree, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. They've been banning excessive credit card late fees. That's something that we could, I don't know about you guys, something I could definitely approve of for sure. They created a registry for the repeat offenders. So the guys that were scamming people, they get caught, and then they scam people again, and they scam people again. They got a whole registry for that so that they can investigate them whenever they open a new scam. So this is all stuff to protect American people. And although they've given back $20 billion to Americans, they've only spent less than $2 billion overall and less than $1 billion per year. So let's see what Trump thinks about it. He decided that he wants to end the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and let's see why. And again, this is all that they do. There's nothing else that the Consumer Protection Bureau does. They are the scam police.
President, regarding the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, have said that by freezing it, it's giving big banks and giant corporations the green light to scam families.
Pocahontas, the faker. That was set up to destroy people. She used that as her little personal agency to go around and destroy people. And she's a fake. Just like she said she was an Indian, and she wasn't an Indian. You have more Indian blood in you than she has.
Let me pause for a second. Again, they're asking him why he wants to close down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that helps Americans. And he spends half the time talking about some mistake Elizabeth Warren made 40 or 50 years ago, something that came out like 20 years ago. This is a dude that just got caught lying about the birthday card that he sent to Jeffrey Epstein. This is the dude that gets caught in lies like every other day, and he's calling her such a fake person and such a liar and a horrible person that he has to talk about it over and over for 5 minutes for something from that long ago. Like, how does that make sense to anybody? How can you be a Trump supporter and be like, yeah, Elizabeth Warren is fake. Trump is telling the truth here. I mean, she did that one thing, and Trump lies all the time and gets caught all the time, but she's the fake one. Okay, so like we said, this is what the scam police does, and he's saying that all these people are saying, "Oh, they're hurting me. The scam police are hurting me." He's talking about the scammers. The scammers are the ones getting hurt.
She went to college based on the fact that she was an Indian. She got jobs based on the fact that she was an Indian. She's a fake. That was set up to destroy some very good people, and it worked. I mean, it worked. A lot of great people. I'll tell you, before I ever heard the term, people would come up to me in the Midwest and areas that say, "Sir, I'm being destroyed by them." They use that to destroy people. She's a nasty woman. She's a really nasty woman, despite her phony beer commercial. We did the right thing. That was a very important thing to get rid of. And it was also a waste. I mean, number one, it was a bad group of people running it, but it was also a waste. If you looked at when she really ran it, wow, that was a vicious group of people. They really destroyed a lot of people.
And you can confirm it's your goal is to have it totally eliminated, the
I would
agency?
say, yeah, because we're trying to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse.
So to him, she's a horrible person for destroying these scammers who are literally scamming people for billions and millions and billions of dollars. I mean, come on, who can support this guy? The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau thing is just one that seems undefensible. Like, it's obviously something that's for the better of Americans, and he is on the side of the corporations every time. Guaranteed crime would go down if people smoked dope and stopped drinking. It's definitely better for you, whether it be for your health, whether it be for your actions. Weed over alcohol every time, and no hangover. All right, and the second thing that I wanted to kind of get into, which we already talked a little bit about, are the pardons. So Juan Orlando Hernandez is the one that was most recently pardoned, and he is from Honduras, and he was pardoned because, and I think I have it here, what was it? He was importing cocaine into the U.S. I think he even was quoted as once saying, "I want to personally stick the cocaine up the Americans' noses myself." And they just pardoned him. Nobody knows exactly why. Of course, the reason would be that he paid for the pardon. That's what a lot of these pardons seem to apparently be, because he has no reason of pardon. He said he was treated very harshly, unfairly. And in what way is this guy treated unfairly and harshly? And a lot of people feel like he's getting paid off through crypto, and that's how people are getting these pardons. And this one maybe not so much, because this Honduras one, where it's the guy who was bringing all the cocaine into the U.S., he was actually a former president. And now there's this Tito Asfura guy who's about to win the presidency of Honduras, and he doesn't like Donald Trump. So now Donald Trump purposely released this guy, Hernandez, in order to help campaign against this Asfura guy. So he's trying to kind of interfere in their election by releasing this big giant drug dealer, which, okay, but on the other hand, you can't say that we have to start a war with Venezuela because the cocaine they're bringing to us is hurting us so bad. I mean, that's a contradiction right there, because like I said, there's no fentanyl coming out of Venezuela. It's only cocaine. And this Honduras guy only brought cocaine to America. So how can you release this guy for cocaine but then attack Venezuela for cocaine? And that would be the answer right there. It's all about that money. So also, just this week, for some reason, Trump decided to commute the 7-year sentence of David Gentile. So this is a dude who defrauded thousands of people out of over $1 billion, $1.6 billion, over more than 1,000 of his victims, and there were over 10,000 victims. Over 1,000 of them submitted statements talking about how they ruined their lives. This one person said, "I lost my whole life savings. I'm living from check to check now." Story of my life. Welcome to my life. But he robbed all these people, and so Trump pardoned him. But everybody's like, why did you pardon him? He don't have a reason for it. He just did. The reason, obviously, as Denny pointed out here, he must have been paid for it. Why else? Why else? Why? Why would he be pardoning this guy? And don't forget, CZ, of course, all you crypto guys know about the founder of Binance. I don't know what CZ stands for. I mean, the guy from China? I don't know where he's from. But he was pardoned, of course, right? And a lot of people think that the reason he was pardoned is because he sent him $2 billion in crypto. And you can actually see in his wallet, because everybody knows this guy's wallet, where the $2 billion just changed hands. And there was coincidentally a big drop in the price of Bitcoin, and some people believe that you know, maybe he sent that $2 billion to him in Bitcoin to get the pardon, and then of course the Trump regime cashed out that Bitcoin, causing the price to drop. So they asked Trump, and this interview's out there somewhere. I didn't record the whole video, but on 60 Minutes, they asked, right after Trump had said, he was telling everybody, any pardons that Biden issued are void because he didn't know anything about them, which is something he said about the auto pens. When he was asked on 60 Minutes about why did you pardon CZ, the crypto billionaire who in 2023 pled guilty to violating anti-money laundering laws, and Trump says, I don't even know who he is. So how can you say that all of Biden's pardons are void because Biden didn't know anything about them, but then right when you're asked about somebody you just pardoned a couple months ago, you don't know nothing about it? I don't understand how people really can still support this guy. All right, one more thing about no, I don't have my notes up. So I do have this video I want to show you guys, and it is like 3 minutes long, but it's really good, and it doesn't like lag or anything. She's giving you lots of good facts. And this lady, I had it in my notes, but I can't pull up my notes right now. This lady has a TikTok, and she is a former Department of Justice pardon lawyer. So she knows all about pardons. She worked at the Department of Justice. And here we go.
Hey everybody. Remember how I told you that Donald Trump has forgiven over $1 billion in debts owed by millionaires and billionaires convicted of crimes?
Sorry, I messed up the sound. I forgot the sound was messed up. I can fix it though. So this lady, like I said, worked at the Department of Justice, and she was a pardon lawyer. So she knows all about the pardon lawyers.
I don't know. I mean, the answer to that is
One of those days.
Well, he just added another $800 million to that total. I'm Liz Oyer, the former pardon attorney for the Department of Justice. During the first months of his presidency, Trump granted clemency to dozens of people convicted of crimes involving fraud, meaning cheating other people out of money. Under federal law, those convicted of fraud are required to repay the money that they stole from their victims. But not so for those who Trump pardoned. Donald Trump's pardons had the legal effect of wiping out the obligation to repay the money. In total, Donald Trump's pardons have wiped out over $1.3 billion in debts owed by wealthy Americans to taxpayers and victims of crime. These are the receipts that I've showed you previously. Now, Trump has gone a step further. This week, the Securities and Exchange Commission abandoned civil enforcement actions against 3 of Trump's wealthiest pardon recipients. The SEC is a government agency responsible for protecting investors by filing civil lawsuits against those who commit fraud. But now, under the leadership of a Trump appointee named Paul Atkins, the SEC is walking away from those efforts to protect victims of fraud. Here are the 3 lucky beneficiaries of Trump's generosity. The first is Trevor Milton. Milton was convicted of defrauding investors in his electric car company out of over $600 million. Milton got a pardon after he donated millions to Trump and hired Brad Bondi, the brother of Attorney General Pam Bondi, to represent him. Next is Carlos Watson, who cheated investors in his media company and owed about $97 million. Watson leveraged connections to Trump, including paying $1 million to a well-connected attorney. And finally, Devin Archer, who stole money from workers' pension funds and a Native American tribe. Archer owed about $60 million in penalties. He received a full pardon after he agreed to assist members of Congress who were investigating Hunter Biden. These 3 could have been on the hook for over $800 million, but instead, they're walking away scot-free thanks to Donald Trump. In total, adding up the criminal penalties and the potential civil penalties that Trump has forgiven, the amount is over $2 billion. But definitely don't ask Donald Trump to forgive your student loans.
And that was back in September. So the amount of people that he has pardoned, I mean, the people that he's pardoned, they're like all high-level scammers, and they all get to keep the money that they scammed. And it's obviously that he's not looking out for American people, but he's looking out for the rich people. And it almost feels like it's rich versus the poor right now, but the poor don't realize it. The rich do. We're in a war that we don't realize it. We're like the deer. You know how when you go deer hunting, you're playing a sport, but one team don't know they're playing? I feel like we're playing a sport right now, and we don't know we're playing. Let's go, Denny OC. But all right, that's my ranting on politics for today. It was so bad that they kicked me off of YouTube. I don't get it. What do y'all think? Let me know what you think about it. All right, let's get into candy stuff. Oh, man. So this is the big homie right here, Dr. Batcow. He's kind of a well over there, too. As you can see, he did a $7,000 withdrawal from Candy Digital, and it never came. And there's a lot of people now saying that they've been doing withdrawals, and they're not showing up. But not only are they not showing up, apparently they are showing in the Candy platform that they've been paid out. And whenever they contact Candy saying, I didn't get my money, but it shows paid out, they're not getting a response. And one of the guys who is one of the developers over there, I guess he got tired of people mentioning him on Twitter about it. He deleted his Twitter account. So people are starting to worry. Is Candy rugging? This came out yesterday from MetaBeast saying that Candy Digital was sold, that is yesterday, as part of a Futureverse distressed asset fire sale. The buyer is undisclosed. Unsecured gets 0. Your NFTs safe and on-chain. Future drops and root integrations unknown. Web3 roll-up error claims another one. So they're saying that, according to this article, Futureverse sold off some of their assets. Of course, we know Futureverse bought Candy recently, and Candy was one of the assets that they sold. But other people don't agree. There's Prez. Prez usually knows everything that's going on Candy. The article apparently doesn't say that it includes Candy Digital, and it referred here to Ollie Star, another OG, and he says, I don't understand what Ollie Star is saying here. Yes, DC Candy, outside of all of this, have that officially. I don't understand that sentence. But the article itself is available. I have a link down, link down in the description as always. That's the picture in the article. But the article is like paywalled, so I can't read it. So I don't know if Candy's in the article or not. I mean, it feels like it. They haven't tweeted in like 2 months. Let me go check their Twitter. See if we can check their Twitter without crashing, and I'll pull it up on screen. Candy Digital. And as I was kind of joking around in my Discord server earlier today, it's like the kiss of death. Candy finally reached out to me and DM'd me for the first time ever. They're following me now. We did a giveaway on my channel, and then right after that, they friggin' rug. Just like Ma'am AI. As soon as I sign up to be an influencer for Ma'am AI, they rug. So November 2nd was their last tweet. So it's only been 1 month exactly. And they usually only tweet about sports stuff. Let's see if there's any like mentions, any replies. November 2nd, that's the last time they tweeted. We haven't heard anything else besides that. I don't know, people are starting to get worried. I don't think Jim Lee said anything about it. See, I don't really know all their developers. If it was like BB, I would know. Follow David Yu, follow Dan C, follow Reese, follow Alex G. You know, you got different people you can follow to kind of get an insight of what's going on. Who do I follow? I got Candy Digital and Jim Lee, and I don't really think Jim Lee's going to be tweeting about it. Oh, that's Cryptoids. Here's Candy. Going to their Discord server. Okay, here's the update. The update was on September 29th. In light of Futureverse's recent restructuring announcement, I remember this, we want to reaffirm that Candy Digital, the Root Network, Future Pass, and importantly our partnerships with DC and MLB remain unaffected. Which, that's good. I don't know. What do y'all think about Candy? It's not good. What's up, Rob T? Good to see you, my man. No problem. You actually missed the first stream. I started the stream and got to politics, and then I crashed, and because I was using Restream, I had to start over and start a whole second stream, which kind of sucks, but oh well. People are still in here active a little bit. 2:25, 1:09 p.m., so it's not like it's a dead server. Randy says BB will 10x in December to hold and buy more Omi, he says. You know, I think that it's been at least 4 years, maybe even 5 years now, at least 4 years, that I've been telling everybody, loud and clear, you cannot be mistaken. Do not listen to Randy Chavez. Do not trust anything Randy Chavez says. He is not a smart person. Definitely don't take his investment advice. I've been saying this for a while now. Here, let's take a look at what Randy told everybody, told his people. This was back in February of 2024. He convinced his homie to sell some of his silver, selling 3 100-ounce bars to buy Omi tokens. His friend lost $14,707. Don't take Randy's investment advice. He is not a smart person. I've said it a million times. I don't know how many times I could say that. I did get a candy payout like 10 days ago. Oh. All right, so maybe some people are getting paid out. I know Dr. Batcow didn't get his, and he tried to cash